Space. I'm Colonel Thompson. Thanks for coming out today. I think this is a great opportunity to give you a journey through time by sharing with you the history of aviation, starting with the beginning. Let's kick things off now with the plane that started it all, the Wright Flyer. Here it comes just over your right shoulder. This bird flew for the first time on December 17, 1903, flying a total distance that would barely have made it from one end of the cargo hold to the other inside of today's largest plane, the Antonov 225. Progress in aviation was so rapid that Louis Blériot successfully crossed the English Channel only 6 years later. Here's his plane coming from the left, the Blériot 11. The feat made for great advertising, and his plane became very popular with aviation pioneers. When World War I broke out, many of his planes were sent to scout enemy positions. With a nose-mounted machine gun that could fire safely through its propeller, the Fokker-Eindecker was the world's first purpose-built fighter aircraft. Whoa, look out! After the war, aircraft were quickly adopted for civilian use by airlines and mail services. The most important airliner ever took off for the first time 32 years to the day after the Wright brothers' first flight. The DC-3 was such a masterpiece of aviation engineering that it still flies for many airlines today, 80 years after its maiden flight. The old saying goes, the only replacement for a DC-3 is another DC-3. Aircraft had proved themselves devastating weapons in the First World War, but surprisingly, they did not play a decisive role in the outcome. But all that changed in the Second World War. Air battles were waged on a scale we never saw before, and will never see again. Above you now flies every aircraft that was shot down during the Battle of Britain. The battle raged for 3 desperate months, while the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, attempted to pave the way for a Nazi invasion. Nearly 4,000 pilots and crew were killed or wounded. But the war also ushered in the jet age. It arrived in style in 1955 when Tex Johnston famously performed a barrel roll in Boeing's new 707 commercial airliner. Now here it comes from the right. This new plane cut travel times in half and made international travel routine. But to many, the height of the jet age was the introduction of the Concorde in 1976. For 27 years, the Concorde ferried passengers across the Atlantic in a short 3.5 hours, so fast that for those lucky few, the sun rose in the west. But to really understand how fast that is, you need to see it for yourself. So here it comes on your right, a high-speed pass at 1,300 miles per hour. Now, the plane that I have the pleasure of flying is the F22 Raptor. Here it comes circling from the left. With a computerized fly-by-wire system and vector thrust, this plane's maneuverability is unmatched and unbelievable. The F-22 is nearly invincible in a dogfight, but it's also a stealth, invisible to radar, and so quiet you might not notice it until it's already on top of you. think that about wraps it up for now. You've seen a rapid-fire history of aviation, from the Wright brothers' first leap to some of the fastest machines on Earth. Come back and see us again. Oh, one more thing. Remember how I mentioned the Wright brothers' first powered flight would barely have made it from one end of the cargo hold to the other inside the Antonov 225? Well, take a look behind him.